a Hollaender Speed-Rail installation. Today we are building a freestanding 1 1/4 inch pipe handrail using Hollaender Speed-Rail aluminum fittings. Tools. Before you start the installation, you should make sure that you have all the required as well as the optional tools. For the Hollaender Speed-Rail installation, you will need a saw, either a hacksaw or preferably a power saw, a drill for any masonry work, and the appropriate drill bit. In this instance, we are using a 3/8 inch drill bit, a hex key to tighten the Hollaender set screws, a measuring tape, and optionally, you may want to use a carpenter's combination square for precise measurements, a marker to align your pipe cuts, a file to shave down the cut pipes, a hammer to assist in aligning the bolts, a 3/8 inch drive socket wrench to fasten down the bolts, safety goggles, and safety ear protection. The Hollaender Speed-Rail installation kit includes number 45 square floor flange, number 17-7 adjustable elbow T assembly, number 3AE adjustable elbow, number 3 elbow, number 5 T, 1 1/4 inch anodized pipe. You will also need 3 3/4 inch anchors, 3/8 inch in diameter, flat washers, and nuts. The Hollaender Speed-Rail is revolutionary in its ease of assembly. No welding is required as all the fittings simply slide on and tighten using their own Hollaender set screws. Preparation. The first step is to remove any old railing if it exists. Removal will vary depending on the materials of the old railing. Here we had to remove a cast iron railing before replacing it with our OSHA-compliant Hollaender Speed-Rail. After the area is cleared, you then want to measure and mark the locations where the number 45 square floor flanges will anchor the speed rail. You can use a carpenter's combination square to measure a precise distance from the edge of the railing's destination. Once the locations of the flanges are determined, you can then commence with cutting the pipes to the corresponding lengths. The anodized aluminum pipes can be cut with either a hacksaw or preferably a power saw. As always, please exercise all safety measures. Safety goggles and safety ear protectors are recommended for this step. After you cut the pipe, you should then use a file to gently shave the freshly cut rough edge. This will facilitate a smoother and more secure connection during assembly. Installation. When installing, you first want to determine the depth of the anchors that will be used to fasten the flanges. As a reminder, the Hollaender Speed-Rail can be installed on several different types of surfaces, including concrete, wood, stone, and metal. Here we are installing the Speed-Rail in concrete and will be using the necessary masonry tools. Be sure to use the appropriate drill bits for the surface you will be installing the Hollaender Speed-Rail into. Once the depth is determined, and before drilling, you should measure the end of the anchor that will be going into the ground. This will help you to mark the drill bit. Here we are doing that with a carpenter's combination square and tape, so that the drilled hole is of the appropriate depth. As you can see, the tape allows you to gauge when the hole is deep enough. Be sure to remove any excess dust or shavings so that it doesn't enter the freshly drilled hole. You can use a hammer to gently help the anchor into the hole once it is drilled, but be sure to cap the anchor with a nut in order to protect the external threads from the force of the hammer. Here we use a socket wrench to fasten the nut on. When aligning the flange, sometimes one or more of the anchors may be slightly off-center. In that scenario, you can fasten the nut and gently realign the anchor using a blunt object. Here we use a hammer to gently realign the anchors. Once the flange is securely fitted, you can then lock it down with a washer and nut on each anchor. You can use a socket wrench to tighten. With the power tool part of the installation complete, you are now ready to assemble the Hollaender Speed-Rail. Simply align the pipes into the flanges. You can then slide on the T's and elbows that will serve as the fittings for both the top and intermediate railings. No welding is necessary as the Hollaender Speed-Rail is designed to simply align and lock into place. Check your local building codes to make sure the height specifications of the top and intermediate railings meet their requirements. Use the hex key to simply tighten the Hollaender set screws on the elbows and T's. Be sure to first gently tighten all the Hollaender set screws so that proper alignment can be determined. Once all the pipes, T's, and elbows are properly fitted, you can then return to fully tighten the Hollaender set screws. Your Hollaender Speed-Rail is designed to install in a fraction of the time it takes to install traditional welded handrails. The Hollaender Speed-Rail is simply the best, most cost-efficient product on the market right now. For more information, visit buyrailings.com and click on the Industrial Railings section.